Okay, so I just want to go over some of the things we do for small group instruction, like that little mini lesson to get started as a review before we read our book, or during interventions if we're working on a particular skill. Okay, so if we are working on letter ID or letter sounds, or just reviewing the letter sounds, we have a couple different ways to do it. We use our better alphabet charts, and with that we can use our googly eyes to point to things, magnifying glasses, witch's fingers, flashlights, just to make it interesting, but just to go over those letters and sounds each and every day as a review. We can also use our letter cards. We can play a game called Slippery Fish, where I try to pull the fish away and they grab some letters and tell me the letters and sounds. We use our big cards from our program that has lots of different ways to spell that sound. We have our embedded pictures. So if we're working on the SH, see all the little shells, we can use those. Like thunderstorm, they have a picture of it. Box has the X built in. So those are really great. If we're working on letter names, I have a list of the letter names and I time it, and the kids will go through in 1 minute to see what letter they got to, like which row. And then the next day they have to try to beat their time. So if they got 35 letters today, tomorrow they would beat their time and try to do, 42 letters. So that's a good way to practice your letter naming. We also use this one for nonsense word fluency, doing the same thing, timing how many words they did in 1 minute, and then going back the next day and trying to do more the next day. So always that constant fluency. We also have the stick game. The stick game is just literally sticks. This one is letters and sounds. There's a red stick in there and a silver stick. The red one, they have to put all their cards back. Their sticks back. The silver one, they get a prize, so they love that. So this is letters and sounds. Then they move up to CVC words. Same concept. They love to do that right before we read our book. And then this week we're working on blends. So we have the S blends and the TH digraphs. So we're on 4-letter words right now using this stick game. So that's another review that we do. All this is either for interventions or before small group reading. I also have this little robot that they beg me to play. I got it with our games money. It's called Flashbot, and they have CVC cards or blend cards, and basically it has the sound, so they have to sound it out. Top. They have to tell me what they think it is. They think the word is top. They put it in the robot's mouth. It spits it out and it gives them a picture so they can check their work. So we do a couple rounds of that. That's a lot of fun. Just practicing sounding out words and blending. We also use blending boards. I like to print all different seasonal ones. This one is a little ghost one for this month of October. And I'm using marshmallows, or I can use candy corn, or I can use those little chips. Just some fun things to make it interactive. So if they were trying to map the word mop, they would do the sounds first, with marshmallows. They push it down. They would push it up, and then I would ask them, "What's the first sound you hear in mop?" And they would put the letters in each little ghost for each sound, and then they would write it down here. And then we would practice taking away, if the word was mop, I would say, "Let's take away the ah and change it to ah." Now what is our word? Map, yeah. Or do the ending sound or the beginning sound. All that word play and word mapping, we also do. Then I always print out some seasonal games. This one we can use the same marshmallows, but they would put a little marshmallow on each of the real words versus the nonsense words. So that's, again, practicing those nonsense words because those are super tricky. So we do some word chaining. Here's an example of word chaining where you're just changing one letter, just practicing. That's in October too. And then this one is super cute because they're going to use their little witch's fingers and they're going to pop the bubble and read each word. So that's a lot of fun. Let's see. We also have these boxes, the Alcone boxes with the hearts that I use, that I printed free from Heart Word Magic, given to us during one of our trainings. But this is for more for irregular words like said and was. They would map it out and then put a little heart. See a little heart? You can color the heart for the tricky part or the irregular part, so that we're mapping those sight words. We do that a lot right before we read a book. And then, of course, we read the book. Let's see. I'm sure there's other stuff too, but that's just a little idea, couple of ideas that we do each week in our classroom.